All right, guys, so today is officially 6 months of ownership on the R8, and I decided to do an update video on what it's like owning it, costs on things, what I plan to do to it, what's next going on, and just my overall thoughts on it. So instead of just sitting in front of a camera and talking about it, I really like those angles where I put it to the side of the car and have it looking in the windshield and drive around. This is fire. I now hooked it up to my phone. I don't know if you guys can see it, but so now I could start and stop via my phone. Sorry, I'm looking at me. So yeah, I could start and stop. I could also do some zoom in. Fire. How do I get back to normal? Okay. By the way, how fire was that intro? I had someone make that, and I think it's absolutely insane. I think it's really cool. So yeah, let's get into this video. If you're wondering if I'm still nervous about how this mount works, I am. I know in the future there's going to be a video of my camera falling off. Not excited for that. Also, I know it moves around a lot. I got to try to figure that out because it is trying to stay stable. It does have a built-in gimbal. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't fall off though. Once again, we're praying because these are really hard to find now. I was unaware that these are going to be a big thing and very hard to find. We're going to have to open another window because I'm getting some wind noise. So yeah, we're doing 50 miles an hour right now, and it looks like it's hanging in there. It's crazy because when I look at it out of my window, it's really shaky, and then when I look on my phone, it's like really stable. Props to that thing. That thing is amazing. That camera's sick. Also, I know that this isn't. I know that this isn't a camera review, but this thing is just so like mind blowing that I have to talk about it because since I can now do it on my phone and I have it mounted to the car, I'm trying to find out where I could like flip it. But hold on, let's see. Oh, we have a face following. Okay, so that's cool. Oh, there's the flip. What? So imagine racing with. Oh well, now I don't know how to move it back to me. Okay. I gotta mess with this a lot more instead of just messing with it when I'm YouTubing because this thing has so many features and it's awesome. Like that's a fire camera for like, you know, if you take a little trip down to Mexico, lock it up. All right, I'm wasting way too much time. So getting into this video now, I've owned the car for 6 months now. I do love it. A little something that I didn't think about when purchasing this vehicle, and that's kind of being done with it fast, right? So although I've owned the vehicle for 6 months, I did do a fair amount, and there was some stuff done to it when I purchased the vehicle. I'm pretty much, let me put in sport. I am pretty much done with the car. I mean, my next upgrade would be, I don't know, twin turboing the vehicle, which obviously is super fun, and maybe I will do that one day. I did kind of plan on doing it, you know, but I mean, that's really it. I mean, what else do you do to this thing? You know, it's perfect the way it is, and yes, content, but I still have the itch, and I also want to make more content, so a little bit of both, but I still have that itch, and car guys know what I'm talking about. You get that itch of like wanting to wrench on a vehicle. You know, I still want to modify a vehicle. How do I move this around? This way? Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, whoa. Trying to face it more towards me. So yeah, I still have like the itch to modify something. You know, this is pretty much the standard with this. I feel like this is almost done, if that makes sense. I mean, it does look like every other R8, you know, it's pretty much got the same thing. Yeah, I could do wheels and stuff, but going back to the twin turbo kit, I mean, if I do an underground racing twin turbo kit on this vehicle, it is still, you know, $50,000+. You know, you're talking 40, 50 grand on a stage 1 kit. So, which I was gonna do, I did set aside for that. I wanted to do the twin turbo kit, but then I feel like I'm gonna be in the same boat. Yes, I will have a lot more fun. I will be doing a lot more street racing. down in Mexico, maybe take it to like Texas or something like that. You know, I feel like an F80 is going to be super awesome for the channel, and I think that it'll be really fun. I've owned one BMW in my life, and I sold it within like 3 hours of ownership. I think that's what it's going to be on the next purchase. That's a little like sneak peek. Going back into ownership of, oh, by the way, have to mention this. You know how like I made in that one video how I hate that when you pull both shifters in, it doesn't go into neutral. I don't know if it was the tune. I'm 99% sure it was the tune and not the paddle shifters. I highly doubt the paddle shifters have anything to do with that. But it now has changed. It now has changed just like the Huracan. So if I'm just like rolling or whatever, I pull both plus and minus shifters in, it will now go into neutral. I'll give you an example real quick. Slow down a little bit. Neutral. And then you can get back into gear just like that. So I'm very excited for that. That's probably one of the coolest features that's possible with this tune. As far as maintenance wise, I can't tell you guys too much about that because thank you, because I haven't really, the fireman was like, oh baby, that, like, he was giving me compliments, thumbs up, really cool. I haven't owned it for long enough to do maintenance. I know I owned it for 6 months, but it wasn't a daily driver. I've only put a couple, like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 miles. I haven't even got to the point of an oil change yet. I'm not really gonna run into many maintenance issues with this. I would love to tell you how much the price of an oil change costs, but I don't know yet. Not at that position. Look at me with the angles. All right, so another thing to definitely talk about within the 6 months of ownership, oh my God. I came in hot. Is value. So value for the vehicle. Right after I purchased it, they kind of announced that they're going to be doing away with the R8. So that kind of worked in my favor because the prices instantly stabled out and then started going up in value. So luckily to me, I wasn't even aware until someone pointed it out to me that that the spec that I have is kind of rare. Suzuka Gray Metallic is very desirable. It might be like made a lot, but it's mainly made, thank you, in like the older body. 2020 and to 2023 is the facelift model. So in that color, in that body style, post facelift, the Suzuka Gray is a pretty rare color, as well as also finding one with red interior is really nice. So yeah, I think value-wise, it did go up a little bit from when I purchased it because there's going to be no more V10. They stopped the Huracan, they stopped the R8. I do think that is going to go up in value. I think that is a good reason to purchase the car now if you don't have one. I think it's going to be a great investment. I know that a lot of people think that cars are liabilities and not assets, but fortunately for me, it has always been a money-making asset. Every car that I've ever owned, minus I think one, and I've owned 140 plus cars, have actually made me money. And to be clear, if I do go buy an F80 M3, I will be keeping this still. I'm not replacing this with an F80. That would be going a little bit backwards unless you're just trying to like save money for something. But yeah, I will be keeping this as well and getting the F80. I think the only reason that I would sell this thing, there's not many cars that I would really trade this for or sell this for. Maybe a Huracan if it's the right spec. But then again, I'm paying more for the same vehicle. Which I don't mind though. I do like the look of the Huracan better than the R8. Personal opinion. I know a lot of people say the opposite. A perfectly spec'd Urus. Maybe a 600 LT McLaren. Once again, it has to be spec perfect. There's not many things that could replace this for me. This is pretty good to me. If you see me selling this thing, it would only be for because I'm about to make a move on like an apartment building or an apartment complex or another big rental property like a fourplex or something. It's got to be a solid reason for me to get rid of this thing. If you're looking for an R8, I suggest it now, ASAP, for sure, because I think they're just going to get more and more pricey. You also see a lot of them being twin turboed. You see a lot of them, accidents, stuff like that. The stock number the countdown just started. you know, so they started going down. There's none left. There's, you know, you can't go buy one new at a dealer. You see people starting to hold on to them once the R8 market kind of realizes what they have, kind of like the NSX market. The owners kind of, you know, hold the price. I mean, it's timeless. It's a big V10. It sounds phenomenal. These things are reliable as hell. I mean, it has to, if it checks your boxes. I mean, I couldn't see many times that this doesn't check your boxes unless you have like a family car, you have outside parking only or so. I don't know. I think that this checks a lot of boxes, some less than others. For example, in the speed realm, you know, it is fast, but you will get, you know, it's still supercar fast, but it's entry-level supercar fast. So you still will get beat by the 720Ss. You're going to get beat by a couple, you know, stuff like that. I mean, even some of these F80s and I mean, especially the G80s, those things are quick. You know, stage 2 with bigger turbos on it. I mean, they're beating this thing, you know? Like I said, going into this, it wasn't strictly speed. If that was the case, I probably would have built a GTR or a McLaren or something like that. But I mean, this thing is definitely a lot of smiles. It's very comfortable. I got plenty of headroom. I'm not the tallest. I'm only 5'11", but I got plenty of headroom. I got great visibility. I got a lot of daily drivability. This thing is very reliable. Values going up. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? And it's definitely really fun. The power delivery is great. And sound is a big thing for me when it comes to checking the boxes, which is going to be a fight with the M3 when I get it, because I know they sound pretty raspy unless you do certain setups. But I mean, come on, especially with a tune. This thing is, you know, it's very hard to beat this bang for buck. And I mean, I'm sure because I said bang for buck, you're going to see some Corvette guys in the comments talking about bang for buck, but I don't know. Those things just don't do it for me. Side note though, if I did find an F80 M3 that I really, really like, it is in San Jose, California. So like 2,500 plus miles. If I do purchase that, I'm going to be vlogging the entire trip. I think that'd be a really cool video, if not broken down into pieces. So I guess comment F80 if you guys want to see that happen. Maybe I'll make that happen. So a couple things that after 6 months are still surprising with this vehicle. I would have to say the speed still. It is wild how this thing like takes on speed, if that makes sense, or how it delivers the power. It is, you know, revs to 9,000, so that's pretty, I guess, eye-opening and really cool. But something about this thing, man, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with like the intake and how almost like a variable valve timing, almost like a VTEC or a Vanos kind of thing. And it's almost like it has like stages to it, and you kind of feel it when you're, you know, you're full throttle. You feel it at a certain point, and then it just keeps like, it is seamless, but it just feels like it keeps pushing. I mean, this thing will put you in your seat at, you know, starting at 80, 90 miles an hour, and that's so like wild for a car to do. It feels like to be going that fast and see that much of a drastic change by just punching it is crazy. Because you're already rolling, you know what I mean? Like, you're already rolling, and for it to like put you back in the seat at that speed is pretty awesome. Another thing that is, this is probably something stupid, but another thing that like is really like mind-blowing about this car, it's still after 6 months, I can't believe it does this. I mean, obviously the car is super loud, right? It's a big V10, it's got an exhaust on it. Is the ability to get quiet, right? So I'm in sport mode, which means like valves opened on the car. But now let me put it in comfort to show you. I want to wait till I'm cruising. All right, so we're super low, you know, speed right now. We're only doing about 30 miles an hour. But just to show you how quiet this car can actually get. And I don't know if you can hear it because this mic is pretty directed towards me. But I'm assuming that you can hear how loud I'm talking, because I don't think you can hear me. But throwing this into regular drive and into comfort mode. And it drives like a normal car. Like, I could whisper and you could hear me. It is so crazy. This thing is about as loud as a Toyota Corolla right now. It's insane. I mean, obviously if you punch it, you're gonna hear a little bit, but just cruising speeds, 3,000 RPM. It is, maybe I'm exaggerating with the Corolla reference, but it is so nice and quiet. It drives like it's stock. And it's really cool to have for when you gotta, take a phone call or something like that. But it's just mind-blowing to see how like quiet a car can get after being that loud. I don't know. To me, it's something new. So it might be stupid to everyone else, but to me, that's kind of cool. Still shocking, and for me, after owning it for 6 months. So I noticed that basically every time I record a video, I always forget to do an outro. I get to the end of the video and I'm excited to like edit it and stuff, so I just like rush and forget to, and I have to do it here in the house while I'm editing. Another thing I want to state that I noticed while editing is I talk very fast, and I know some of you hate that, or some of you it's hard to understand. I hope I'm not doing it now. I'm trying to subconsciously talk slower, but I don't know, maybe it's the Spanish in me. I don't know. I talk very fast. I am apologize. I'm going to try to slow down my talking, but it just also feels awkward. Probably not to you guys, but anyway, if you made it up to this point, I really appreciate you. That means you watched the whole dang video. So thank you. And if you did, do me a favor and drop a like, subscribe, the deal, typical YouTuber stuff. It does help the growth. Yeah, so I guess watch the outro, and hopefully you watch another video of mine. Peace.